Welcome to the Third Win channel, where today we're doing our 5th Q&A of the season following the 6th episode of Season 2 of iCarly. Let's hop straight into some of my questions and then into some of your questions, starting off with, how will Paul depart the show? So we know that Paul will be in 1 or 2 or maybe 3 episodes this season, and it's pretty clear that Josh Peck won't be a long-term character, so how will he come to not be in iCarly anymore? Well, I think it's going to come down to creative differences between him and Carly, ultimately, not actually Freddie. I think that he's going to maybe turn the show into something Carly won't want, or maybe he's going to screw something up with Carly. It'll come up in a later question, but I think that basically Carly will disagree with him on something, and maybe he'll go back to Italy. Something like that. But we'll see. I'm actually really interested to see what you guys think about this one, so let me know in the comments. Next question. Does Millicent like Carly or Pearl more? So we've seen Carly throw a lot of like snarky comments at Carly. Millicent throw a lot of snarky comments at Carly, and we've seen her like not want to remove Pearl as well. But I feel like the stuff against Carly is more playful. I think that most of us believe that Freddie will end up with Carly long term. I do think that Millicent has grown some kind of liking to Carly, even though she does kind of bully her a lot. So I do think she likes Carly more. Moving on, how will Paul change the web show? So, how, Paul's been hired as a new manager, making iCarly great again, in a way. So, how is he actually going to do that? Well, I think he's going to bring in higher budget, more production value. He talked about Freddie with his wimpy production value. So I think he's going to bring in big stuff, make it more like TV. Maybe he's going to like make it more mainstream, and I think that will work to a certain extent, but maybe that's the reason why it won't work out in the end, because that's just not what iCarly is. That mainstream TV vibe isn't going to work. So we'll see. I think he's going to do something like that, make it more mainstream, more TV. Next up, we got, could Freddie and Pearl remain work partners? So this question is more like, if these two do break up, could the Kev app still exist, as, Pearl does work kind of for the Kev app as the pet therapist. So could they remain work partners or friends after breaking up, if that happens, right? So I feel like with the end of Pearl in this series, if that happens, I think that's also kind of the end of Kev app. Maybe he's going to just sell it off. Maybe he'll earn a good amount of money and he'll move on to his next thing. I really do think that something like that will happen. So I don't think that Pearl can remain work partners with Freddie after they break up. Next up, does Paul have feelings for Carly? So I, there's gonna be a lot of opinions, but I feel like Paul deep inside his character, has some sort of feelings for Carly. Just the way he talked about her, saying to Freddie like, I know stuff about her too, and being a little bit defensive and wanting to help her out of nowhere for, it seems like, no cost. All these things just lead me to believe that he has some kind of deeper interest in Carly and the will to help her. And that's maybe also why he's so competitive with Freddie. Something like that. I really do think he might have some feelings. Next up, Harper and Spencer, question mark. We got some more good stuff between Harper and Spencer last episode. So basically this question is looking at, do they have some kind of deeper connection? Do they have feelings for each other? Not really feelings, but could they happen, And I've seen this question float around a lot, but I honestly don't think this is gonna happen, just because it would be too weird for Harper's Carly's best friend to date her brother, It just doesn't make much sense. Like, they have great banter and their vibes kind of match in a way, but I don't think this is ever gonna happen. But maybe you guys are gonna protest that. I don't think this is gonna happen though. It's a bit too weird, Moving on. Will Spencer take on the critics' opinion? Will Spencer take the critics' opinions to heart? So will he change the way he envisions Shea just because the critics said, oh, this doesn't have that Spencer touch, it's not really art, it's more of a food place, blah blah blah. Will he change something about it? I don't think so. I think that was just a one episode thing, and the Shea will continue to be more of a loungy spot with less of a focus on changing it or improving it. I think we've been through that arc now. Now it's just going to be like the Groovy Smoothie was, kind of a chill place to hang out. Something like that. So, a short answer, no, I don't think it's going to change. Maybe he will keep adding to it and more art and such. But we'll see. Moving on, does Harper work at Shea What? So in the predictions video, I believe I had a question like, does Harper start working at Shea What? And then in this episode, we kind of see her hired to make the outfits, but it feels like that's it. But I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you guys have some more input on this, but I'm pretty sure she does not work there. That was just a one episode thing. But it kind of makes sense for her to start working there, but I don't think she does. Yeah, let me know if I'm wrong. Moving on, we are going straight into some viewer questions. So I was just gathering some questions I saw over this week, and we have 3, 4, or 5 to go over here, starting with Ryan, who says that he enjoyed this episode a lot and he liked the references towards the Dan's feet stuff, which I thought was really fun too. But he was asking basically, do the cast of iCarly kind of hate Dan the same way as some actresses from Zoe 101 or Jeanette McCurdy? Do they hate Dan? What kind of relationship do they have with Dan? So this particular set of actors, Josh, Miranda, Nathan, Jerry, they've never, to my knowledge, they've never said anything negative about Dan. Obviously, with this joke, they're more acknowledging the fact that iCarly did, yes, have a lot of feet, and it was a very prevalent thing in the show. So I don't think they have any a hate for him, but maybe they've decided, not to really associate with him anymore for certain reasons, for press. But they've never been negative towards him. So I guess that's the answer to the question, but we will never know, I guess. Moving on, we have Oscar's question, which has to do with the fact, will we see Nora? Will we see Nora back again, basically? And I think we might see Nora back again. Not this season, but I've talked about this a lot, but I think it would be really cool to get another Nora kidnaps them kind of episode. But we've seen that our guests have only appeared once, and it would be kind of a shame if we didn't see Nora again. But I do feel like she got a bit of a weaker episode. Looking back, I feel like she could return again, especially since they already have contact with her, and she did well in her return. So I feel like they could definitely use Nora again in that kind of same kidnapping style. I think that would be a great episode if we got that again. Moving on, we got a question from CJ, which was, would Harper be a neutral party between Carly and Freddie? I thought this was a very interesting question. So would Harper think logically and say, okay, I think Freddie's right, I think Carly's right, or would she always side with Carly? And honestly, it's a hard one. I don't know if I know Harper's character well enough to answer this, but I feel like Harper would side with Carly no matter what, almost. I don't know. I feel like this is a best friend kind of thing, and that she'll always side with Carly because I don't think she's that close with Freddie. Not yet, anyway. But maybe I'm wrong. Next up, we got a question from Salma, which is, well, we already answered this one, but I guess we should change the question to, is Josh Peck, how many episodes is Josh Peck going to be in? And from the sources I've seen, it's like 2, but could he be in 3? Maybe they haven't confirmed this in any way. They've just said that he's going to be in more than one episode. I think that Josh Peck is going to be in 3 episodes. Actually, I think he's going to be in the confirmed 8th episode, and then maybe one more, maybe in the beginning of one. So yeah, 2 or 3 sounds about right. But lastly, I'll end off this Q&A by showing you the results of the poll for what people thought of this episode. And actually, half of the 346 people, thought that this episode was the best of season 2 so far, which isn't surprising. It was a great episode. It's not my favorite episode of the season. That would have to probably be the second episode, the one with Lubert. But people loved this episode. Only 3% thought it was bad and 9% okay. So we got 12% thinking it's anywhere less than good. So that's a really good result, especially when you compare it to last week's poll, which placed most of the 50% vote at great. So you can see very clearly this episode was something that people really enjoyed, and it was. Josh Peck returning was amazing. I did love to see that. Like, this episode is just packed with good stuff. Loved it. Loved all of it. But for now, This has been the Third Win channel. Thank you for watching another Q&A. Tomorrow we're going to have a predictions video, and Friday we'll have a new review for the 7th episode. We're already this far into the season, but subscribe if you haven't already for the Third Win channel for this iCarly content. I'll see you guys very soon, and I hope you guys had a good day and a good watch.